All right, so our design is complete. We unhooped it. I gave it a good press. Sometimes you'll see that you'll end up with that crease line of your embroidery hoop. I like to just spritz it with a little water and then just hit it with a light iron, and that usually will get it right out. Otherwise, usually when you wash it and then you dry it and give it a good iron, it'll all come out and it'll be fine. So for this denim, I just spritz it with some water. So we're ready to move on now. I have my outer part of my bag laid in front of me right here with the pretty side or the embroidery side face up. Now I'm going to reach over, fold it, similar to how we did our lining previously. And I'll just give it a little press here to create that crease at the bottom. And this tote bag is going to be like a super simple tote bag that like a child can make. So we're not going to box the corners. I'm just going to keep it a nice flat little tote that's going to be a little simple because I really wanted to focus on the embroidery part of this project, all right? So once we have this, we're going to head over to our sewing machine and using a 1/2 inch seam allowance, we're going to stitch down both sides of our tote. Alright, so now as you can see, the denim frays a little bit, so what I'm going to do is just trim that off before we move on to the next step here. Just trim off any little extra. Alright. So we have that out of our way. Now we're ready to put it together. So we have our outer, we have our lining, and let me just set this here. And we have our 2 straps or our handles for the bag. So we're going to layer these up all in one step together. And all you're going to have to do is stitch 1 seam around the top opening, and that's going to secure your lining, your outer, and your strap. So it's quite easy. This is using a slip-in lining technique. So first we need to flip it right side out, right? Our outer part here. Oh, this is going to look super cute. I promised my daughter I would give her this bag. So she's going to be super excited to see it because she really liked the embroidery on it. And I told her I'd give it to her. All right, so let me just give this a quick press on the side seams. You can see how it's kind of bundled there, like jumbled up a little bit. I'm just going to press it so I get that seam nice and crisp coming out on the sides. Sorry. Bottom. And I'm just going to roll this out so I can get this crease all the way out, running along the sides of my little tote bag here. All right. So there's our little tote. How cute is that looking? Now the lining, we want to leave it with the wrong side facing out because we're going to slip the lining inside the bag. And so we want ugly sides of both fabrics to be touching. So inside here is the ugly side or the back side of my embroidery, right? And then here is the wrong side of my lining. So we're going to slip this in here, just like that. You're going to line up these top edges. I want you to line up the side seams as best as you can get them. Seam allowances going opposite directions. If you want, you can even trim down the seam allowance that I had left over from the lining. I'm just going to leave it because it doesn't really bother me. Let's grab some of my Wonder Clips here. And this is a great place to use your Wonder Clips. So I'm setting up the seam so one is going one way and the other one in the other direction because it's going to be quite bulky. Remember, we're working with denim here. Alright, that looks good. And I'm just tucking it in so that the lining is not right at the top edge. It's more tucked in. Alright. That looks good. And once you have those side seams clipped in place, then you can go ahead and finish clipping around the top. Now this is a great place. If it feels a little fidgety to you, feel free to glue base this in place as well. Similarly to how I showed you how we did the straps, you can do that here as well. So now I have this set in place. Now we can go in and insert our straps. So let me just put this in here. And so now I'm going to put one strap on one side and the other on the opposite side. You can also insert them on the ends if that's kind of the look that you want to go for. But I'm going to do it so that the lining fabric is face out. So I just lay it flat in front of me and then I'm going to loop it down this way so that I'm still looking at the same sides of the fabric. Notice I have the lining fabric facing up, and I'm going to insert this in here. And then at this point you can measure and kind of eyeball to see how far exactly you want these to be in from the sides. What I will usually do is first slip them in here so I can have a visual, and then decide from there what I want. I'm only inserting it inside about 1/2 inch in between, notice where I'm putting it, in between the outer fabric and the lining fabric. Just gonna put them in about 1/2 inch. So what I usually do is I put in one, fix that one to how I want it, and then I'll just flip it over and copy it so I don't have to measure for the second side. So 1/2 inch in between the outer and the lining fabric. Put a clip just to hold it because I think that's gonna look pretty good there. And my outer strip here measures 2 1/4 inches from the end. So this edge of this one should measure 2 1/4, and it's right there. So not bad for eyeballing it. So 1/2 inch in, put your clips, and I'm clipping it so that I'm grabbing all 3 layers, the outer fabric, the strap, and then also that lining fabric. And sometimes it helps to put clips on both sides of the shoulder strap so you can keep them in place. I'm not going to glue base right now just because I have them already in here. But remember, that's another option as well. All right. All right, so there's our first strap clipped into place, and you can see how it's going to look. I like that distance in from the side, so I think that will work fine. Now I'm going to carefully flip this over and repeat the process to the second one. Instead of measuring this time, I can just use the first one I've already put into place to measure for my first one, so it'll go a lot quicker. So there's our tote bag. Doesn't that look so cute? Oh, I'm so excited. My daughter's gonna freak out. But let's head on over to the sewing machine before I mess it up, and we're gonna top stitch this right into place. And so the place I want to stitch at now, you'll see that there's 2 stitch lines. Well, there's going to be 2 stitching lines. There's one down here from where we hemmed our outer fabric, and now I'm going to top stitch close to the top, and then I'll also probably go ahead and do it a little bit up from this first stitch line. You can just do the one if you want to. You can do more. You can even use some decorative stitches that you have on your machine if you kind of want to add a little bit more of an embellishment to this top edge of your tote bag. Alright, so now I'm going to show you how I'm going to stitch around this opening on a machine that does not have a free arm here exposed. If you have a regular home sewing machine, you'll probably notice that you can slip off the accessory bin and it will make this a lot narrower for you. If that's the case, then you can slip the bag over that. But this machine is not like that. So for those of you that have a machine like I do, this is how I do it. I'm going to flip this so that the pretty side is facing down. And now I'm just going to go around and stitch from the inside, and I rotate the entire tote as I go around, taking my time and making sure to not move those straps from where they're at. I take off one clip as I go. You can always readjust your lining as you work your way around. Now when you get to the side seams, there's quite some bulk here, so take your time. Working our way around. Just do a few back stitches there, and we're all done. Let's check out what we got. All right, so here's our little tote. I just like to give it a good little press real quick. And now for the big reveal. How cute is this little bag? My daughter is going to love this. I think quite a few My Little Ponies will be able to be carried around in this little tote. It's a perfect size for kids and for adults, so I hope you enjoyed the project and that you'll consider giving it a try. Remember, if you want to learn the embroidery stitches that you need to know how to make in order to add this little embellishment here, you can always click the graphic right here, and that will take you to the video playlist where all my hand embroidery videos are archived for you to watch whenever you want. Now I hope you enjoyed the tutorial on learning how to make the little tote bag as well. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit it with that thumbs up below, share it across the different social media sites, and don't forget to click the subscribe button so you won't miss out on any of my future videos. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!